Good morning. For a moment, I'm going to take you back to my childhood, and then we'll go to something else. My childhood, specifically high school, 1977, including the year that the California Jam 2 took place in 78 and Van Halen's debut album. Through 1981, I went to high school, and almost every day of those 4 years of high school, I had 9 of these. This is 11. This is more than I had every day, but every day I would put 9 of these on a little pan, a little metal pan that had like a little slider thing that you could slide whatever you were cooking off. It would go underneath the items and take it off. I put this in the oven for about, 5 to 9 minutes, and I'd take a glass of orange juice and I would pour it in a tall glass and stick that in the freezer for about 5 minutes while the donuts were cooking, and a light form of orange juice ice would form on the top layer. And so all 4 years of high school, that was my breakfast, the breakfast of champions. So now I'm gonna set out to eat this breakfast of champions, the 9 donuts I had in high school. Wait a minute, you were just here telling us that there was 11 and now there's 9 and there's all kinds of powder underneath these donuts. Did you already eat 11 and you're about to eat 9? Well, I can't lie, my phone is nodding. So I'll talk to you about this iPhone. I believe this is the iPhone 3, and I keep this at the office, and I play some music while I'm on this Griffin little, it's like an ear canal. See, the sound goes through these little tunnels and amplifies a little bit without electronics. And I'm kind of talkative today, haven't had my caffeine yet. This is my current breakfast of champions. But I was listening to Monty Python on the way here, and I laughed a lot. No, I was listening to Monty Colvin's podcast, and there's his artwork, and he talks a lot, so I guess I'm in a talkative mood. And here's my office. Got pictures of my wife everywhere. I never get any credit for this, but I think it's romantic to have pictures of your wife everywhere. Pictures of kids, cats, kids, old iPhones. This is a plaque I had since I was a little kid. This is a plaque my dad had when he was a little kid. He's given it to me. This is my oldest daughter, Kayla. There's Kayla and Rachel. There's Louie. There's one of the prototypes of the logo. When I first got here at TDLR, our logo looked like a soda logo. This thing is, we work at the umbrella agency because we cover 38 different programs, like licensing for barbers and cosmetologists, as well as elevators and boiler rooms and midwives and combative sports like boxing and stuff. I ended up designing a new logo, but this is one of the prototypes. Kind of like, reminded me of a skateboard sticker, sort of like tracker trucks. It's kind of where it's going there. There's the state seal. There's the F-14 Comcat sticker. There's Romeo and the Tuxedo Cat and E.T. There's Yoda. Anyway, so I ended up designing this logo, TDLR, with the state of Texas with a star through it, giant letters that I stretched a little bit, and the subtitle underneath it. And that is that. There's some lust control. I'm not really into autographs, but I've got a couple autographed footballs. This is Roger Staubach, and there is Michael Irvin. There's some of my art. And anyway, what was I going to talk about next? There's a painting my wife did of the Holy Bible, which I think is really cool. There's one of the posters from the Heaven's Metal Hard Music Compilation Volume 1, which had POD and Fourth Estate on it, and Slam Cat. And there's some more stuff to keep me inspired. Some cowbell, some challenge coins. This is a pile of old bones of just people that have died around. These are actually apple stems, and I think they look gross and weird and crazy and creepy, and so that's why I've been making a pile of them for almost a decade now. It's kind of weird, and I like being weird, unexplainable. There's a tow truck and a car being towed away. There's a bottle of Gospel Cola from Atomic Opera. There's a skull I made in art class in high school. There's a little miniature pint glass for ants. all kinds of fun stuff here. Here's some helmets, the human trafficking football team, the TDLR team. So when I first got here, I slapped that logo on the shape of Texas. So I kind of changed the logo immediately, but we didn't come up with a brand new logo until later. There's HM Magazine, the old oval. There's the Dallas Cowboys, who are not doing that great right now. And Texas Longhorns just lost to Georgia. The Day of the Dead. Less Control. This is called an aluminum plaque. This is when you sell 5,000 copies of an album, you get one of these plaques from Michael Knott. And Michael Knott did not give this to me, but we did sell about 5,000 units of this album. And there's a painting I got from Charles Gates. He used to work at this place that did prints on canvas, and he said, "Do you see anything you like?" And I took that. There's my diploma. I actually have a degree from the University of Texas, y'all. And there's Bevo, Ted Kirkpatrick, one of the greatest drummers of all time, who is with Jesus now. He gave me this when I went to visit them. Pecan, someone your own size, get it? It's a really cool guy named Preston from the Michigan area. Sent me some of his drawings. And of course this one just has to be on display here in Austin, Texas, y'all. There's a backstage pass. There's some of my artwork and stuff hanging on the wall for others to see. Here's some programs that by legislative bills might have been something they would have sent to us for regulation, like roofing, catalytic converters. This is reciprocity, where we actually take somebody's barber license from Idaho, and if it meets the same standards as ours, we'll let them use their license when they move here from the military. Military spouse does that. Workplace violence. Here's a graphic I did design for that. And this is, what is it? It's about music therapy. Music therapy in the state of Texas. Electric vehicle charging. The legalization of marijuana. That's bills that have come through here. So if that passed in Texas, which is a long shot, we would need a graphic for it. That's kind of a graphic I came up with. The Texas Veterinary and Medical Board is something we have been given some temporary regulation over. We're kind of helping them out. And got a little piece of white powder from those donuts on my fingernail. Youth sports is a bill that's come across. And I think this has to do with DNA, genetic counselors, yeah. So if they tell you, hey, your kid's gonna be an athlete, you can sign up for a college in industrial housing of some sort. Swimming instructors and lactation consultants. Those are just some graphics I came up with to kind of illustrate some of the programs that the legislature might have given us about 3 years ago, and they didn't. Here's a kind of a magazine I put together about alcohol education, and put some edgy graphics in here. Makes it read like a magazine. I really like this a lot. Anyway, that's kind of a fun thing. The missing sandwich. Yeah, I had a sandwich that got stolen one time. Somebody ate it, and I put this wanted poster out there for fun. And this is a truncated version of the logo, and an option I came up with for when the space doesn't allow for a really tall logo, but it needs to be short and wide. There's that one, and then the truncated version. This is on our website now. And we might be given a new entity called the Anti-Human Trafficking Intelligence Center. So I came up with a graphic that's got this in it. And this is a sticker we had made from our good friend Stickers and More. And we slap these on a massage establishment if it needs to be closed because of suspected human trafficking. There's the old logo I was telling you about. There is a sticker that's going to go on the electric vehicle charging stations, like those. And I'm talking about work a lot. I was going to talk about something completely different today. There's a boxing glove that I was sent by a Christian publicity company when Sylvester Stallone came out with his movie. And this is one of 4 different canvases, 4 different covers we did. Look at what happened over time to this canvas. kind of this crackling filter happen just by age and osmosis. And there's the TDLR football team. The TDLRs, they're undefeated. And there's Texas, we're rooting for them. All right, one last thing about work before actually my work day starts. I'm going to talk about graphic design. So this is an inner office mail that somebody sent me. It shows 2 different samples of embroidery work. Oh, that's weird. And I guess this is, I thought I was going to be sent 2 different samples. Maybe there's another sample in here, but I don't see it. So here's the old embroidery, and I've been telling the designer to, the stitcher, the embroider, to make these lines more solid, so these lines don't look like they're dashed lines, these leaves. And I was going to make mention that, you know, I was getting some pushback on a new design I had, and I was going to talk about how designers need to cut the umbilical cord when they design something and they deliver it to their clientele or to the world. They cut the umbilical cord because it's no longer theirs. They don't need to argue or fight or try to keep their design exactly the way it was, but maybe alter it accordingly. Oh, here we go. So here is the new embroidery. I made the lines a lot thicker. The pushback I got was the triple lines on the outside of the embroidery as opposed to this one. So I'm going to need to consider this and make some suggestions. What I'm trying to do is get a standard. We get some wonky variations on embroidery when we do these state seals, and they're across the charts as far as quality goes. I want to come up with one design that will be the final design and we'll use forever and ever. And this is a step in the right direction. But these small little double lines on the inside of the outside border have not been met with popularity and frivolity, as John Wilson might say. So I might see if I can widen this gap. If I take these 2 lines out, there's going to be a bigger gap, this bigger ring right here. So I'll make the letters a little bit bigger. And so there's a little insight into that. Just something that's going on in my world today. All right, well, you get to something spiritual now. I want to hear something spiritual. Come on. Okay, so the other day I was listening to the song Pray by Bloodgood, the late Michael Bloodgood, as they say when somebody has passed on to glory. Michael Bloodgood, beloved friend and musician, pastor, super awesome guy. I got pictures of him where he met my boss here where I work. And anyway, he used to come visit Austin a lot because one of his kids is here, and now grandkids. Anyway, so he wrote this great song called Pray. And it's such a grooving song. It's on Bloodgood's last studio album. And the song is... just Bloodgood's written a lot of songs through the ages, like on their debut album, the Soldier of Peace, Soldier of Light, Look Out Satan, because I'm coming to fight, Demon on the Run, Demon, Demon, you've been beaten, I've got you on the run. Really good theology, and some people will balk at that. What, spiritual warfare is not good theology? That's just hocus pocus. I think you are out to lunch. That's just my opinion. But anyway, so they've given their audience, us Christian followers of Christ, metalheads, warriors who want to live for God, they've given us some ammunition by putting God's word to heavy metal music. And their song Pray encourages us to pray and come to him with a humble tune and make your request known to God. So just a killer encouragement. And then my iPhone, which is a more modern version than this one, it's on shuffle, and it played this song, "Oh Lord, You're Beautiful" by Keith Green. And so anyway, it got me to thinking, like the song Pray reminded me that prayer is important. It's just a vital part of our life as a follower of Christ, as a child of God. It's just to talk to our Father in heaven. And so I thought about, okay, so God hears our prayers. And then the next song I heard was "Oh Lord, You're Beautiful," which was like a worship song. And I thought about, sometimes sometimes I think about God in funny ways. Like sometimes I think about God as being so important that I'm probably not on his mind, that he's got so many things to be thinking about, so many crises around the world, so many people that are just walking humbly with him that have maybe earned his attention or something. And I think of myself as like in a worldly sense, as like just a nobody, just a normal guy. And I think about times where, because of like HM Magazine, I've been given backstage access or given access to celebrities and been given special treatment, and having the attention of somebody who's famous and somebody's big. And I thought about, what if God, thinking in this confined realm here, this isn't an accurate picture, a theological one necessarily, but what if God in this paradigm was a big shot person and I was a nobody, or you were a nobody, and he gave us special access, like he paid special attention to us, like he sat down and said, "Oh, you want to sing that song? You want to do that little worship song where you're singing that Keith Green song to me? Sing it, I'm listening." What if that happened? What if we had an audience with God, one-on-one, and thinking in terms of, we're a nobody, we're 1 in a billion followers. Think of like a busy person, like, "Oh, Elon Musk, can I talk to you for a second? Okay, 3 seconds, and what do you say in 3 seconds of time when you've been wanting to meet somebody or something like that? What if God gave you that opportunity and let you sing a song to him? What would that mean to you if you knew you had the potential to make God smile, if you had the potential to make him weep with joy, if you had the potential to warm his heart, if you had the potential to give him the praise and glory that he is due, one-on-one, if you just had that opportunity, how cool would that be?" And of course, speaking theologically correctly, we do have his audience. We do have access to him because of what Jesus did. And so he does hear our prayers and he does hear our worship songs. So when I was singing "Oh Lord, You're Beautiful" over Keith Green's voice in the car, God was hearing me. And I can imagine, even though that skewed perspective of, I have the attention of a celebrity for a brief moment, I better make the most of it. Theologically, I do have his attention. I do have access to, because he's omniscient, he can hear my prayer, and I also hear the prayer of somebody in Hawaii at the same exact time, and hears us both. I don't know how that's possible, because I've only got 2 ears and 1 brain, but I just thought how wonderful that would be, to be able to present to him a special song from your heart, and how valuable each and every person is. So you think of a celebrity that we get charmed by, and that we see the celebrity from the distance of a camera, and we see that celebrity meet a quote-unquote normal everyday person and give them the time of day. We think, "Oh, that's really good. I like that celebrity now because he or she is humble and treats people as if they are important." Well, yeah, we're made in the image of God, and that's how God treats us. He gives us the time of day, and we actually do have his audience when we pray and when we sing to him. So it just made me think about and focus in about those times when I'm spending time with God, which are very few and far between. I reluctantly say I want more of that in my life, but those times when we spend with him, he is there. His Holy Spirit's been given to us. He comes alongside us, Emmanuel, God with us. And so what an awesome thing to ponder and think and meditate on, is that our prayers and our worship are heard and received by him. And that's a cool thing. And it's motivation for me to want to present to him love and adoration. So there you go. There's my spiritual content for the day. Hope you like it.